We going right now. I want to be on time. It's 5:01. I'm late. Yo, what's really good, University of Miami Hurricane football fans? Your boy Alonzo 1219, AK Die Hard, back in the building. No music today because we got cinnamon roll. Giants playoff first thumbs up. I ought to disqualify you for not saying first thumbs up first, but I ain't gonna do that. You can't give a shout out to the Giants on my channel before you give me a shout out. How we doing that, Cinnamon Roll? What we doing? What's going on, Pigskin P? What's going on, King Nah? What's good with you? Y'all get Cinnamon Roll straight. Get him straight. He won today. He won today, so I'm gonna let him have that one. I hear you. I hear you. Giants playoff games. Okay. But right now, we got my little bro on the line. We got the Holsum one. What's going on, Carlos Riviera? What's good with you? Do me a favor, man. Let's not forget, we getting stagnant again. We're getting stagnant again. And I keep telling the family, like, I can't grow unless I only can grow as much as you share my channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to build this hurricane YouTube thing, man, so we can do this every week. You know what I'm saying? So share the channel because we're getting stagnant again with subscribers for some. You know, we go through these periods, but I need you cats to, you know what I'm saying, really, really push the channel. And we got 17 people on, only 8 likes. Y'all know I'm gonna have them few that's gonna give me the dislike. So I need every like I can get. So super chat's available. Thanks to super chat. So any donation is most definitely welcome. And we're still doing the Duffies. Actually, we might have a different spot for the tailgate. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let 786 let you guys know about that. But the reason why we are in here today is because my little brother, the Holsum 1219, put your thing in the chat, Holsum 1, so I can so you can share your channel, and hopefully by the end of this week, by next week, I have the OBS and everything up and running because I got somebody working with me on that. So hopefully by next week I have everything up and running, and then we'll get in here and talk about some recruiting. And actually, I want to do it a little different this time. I want to talk about, instead of talking about the best recruits out there we're going to get, I just want to start with the offense and defensive line first, and then we're gonna Pigskin Pete with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Pigskin Pete. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Pete. And everybody serious, go over to Pigskin. This is an ACC thing. Y'all go holler at Pigskin Pete, man. I think him and the Wholesome one should definitely have way more subscribers than they have. I don't understand the support. For those guys, as much work as they put in, hard work every damn week. Show the love, man. Show the love. So we're gonna start. I want to start the defensive line first, then the offensive line, then we'll work out. I want to start in the trenches first. You know what I'm saying? So introduce yourself and let everybody know where to go follow you at, and we'll go from there.
All right, of course, man. Y'all already know it's the Holsum one, Holloway representing the U family. You know, first of all, defensive line is my thing. We definitely could sit here and talk 30 minutes. I'd go in depth 30 minutes, 2 hours on just defensive line if that's what y'all wanted. But in order to bring it all the way home, we got to do both sides of the ball, man. That is where the game is won at. No matter where we are, even in the out west in the Pac-12, where they run them crazy triple option spread junk, if your O-line ain't good enough to at least give you 2.5 to 3 seconds when you need be to pass the ball, and when it's time to move people in the run game, you can't be successful. And it also isn't always about talent, man. It's about scheme fit. And are we recruiting the guys that fit our system so that we don't go out there and make these young men look stupid? You know, how many times have we beat the drum about Casey McDermott? You know, 3rd offensive tackle in the country, 5-star recruit, and undrafted. And now he's the starting guard for the Jaguars because they finally put him in a system where he can play. You know, that Mark Richt BS that he did to that guy. But defensive line. First of all, we got a nice defensive line going into this upcoming year. But nobody on that defensive line is proven besides John Garvin, if we're being bluntly honest. Of course, you got Trevon Hill coming from Virginia Tech, but at the same time, people play different in our orange and green than they do in other uniforms. So I want to see what he's really going to do once he gets here and starts playing for us, in our helmet, in our uniform. Are we going to get the same guy, the Virginia Tech guy, or are we going to get even better? But in the interior on our team, you got John Ford, who's finally turning the corner. You got Nestor Silvera, who's slowly turning the corner and embarrassing people. You got Pat Bethel at defensive tackle. You got the UCLA defensive tackle that's transferring in. And you also got Miller, number 91. I think one of the better future nose guards for us. 6'4". He was 350, 360. Now he's down to like 315 and lost over 15% body fat over the last 4 months under the David Feely regime in the weight room, as opposed to Donut Man, who we had before. So now let's talk about the recruits that we bringing in with these guys. So Samuel Anile, the defensive end that's been committed to us for a while from Doral Academy. You already talk about a young man. He has go-go gadget arms already.
Explain that.
He looks like a grown man. What I mean by go-go gadget arms is go-go gadget arms is an NFL term or a scouting term for somebody who has 28 to longer wingspan. So when we talk about offensive alignment, most people say, well, he can't be an offensive tackle because he has short arms, meaning he has sub or beneath 27-inch wingspan or shorter.
$5 donation from Carlo Rivera. I got to do the donations. $5 donation, Carlo Rivera. Rivera, appreciate that, man. Go ahead again. Sorry about that, Holsum.
No, you good. When you start creeping into the 30, 31, 32, now we start talking about guys having go-go gadget. I mean, they can literally, without an offensive lineman being able to touch them, because that's the key thing as a defensive lineman is you want to get your hands on the offensive lineman before they're able to grab you, put their big mitts on you, and hold you in place. And that's where you get defensive linemen who cry holding. Well, you didn't get the man hands off of you, or you didn't get your hands inside first. Somebody who we could turn to recently is Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson has 32-inch arms, wingspan. And how many times did we see him just bull rush no matter who he was playing offensive tackles in the backfield?
But see, that's
almost every week.
But see, that's why I tell people a lot of times, like, the bench press is one of the most overrated things in the combine, is because, like, I got short arms. And I think 2 years ago, I was able to bench press 225 20 times. I got short arms. So I don't have a long way to go with it. But does that mean my lower strength is better than my upper strength? More than likely, yeah. So I can be as strong as I want to, but not have any lower strength and not be able to get leverage. So why don't they consider like leg pressing? You know what I'm saying? Because your lower strength when it comes to defense and offensive line, because even offensive line, you got to be able to put your hands on them. But if you can't, if your core isn't strong, then they're gonna bull rush you. And that's the same thing on defensive line. And a lot of people look at the bench, but he's strong. Yeah, he's upper body strong, but that doesn't get you anywhere with short arms and with no lower body strength.
Right. And we're going to dabble in the O-line real fast with a recruit from last year, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to explain why it was so impactful with us losing a guy like that. But it's okay because we have some guys coming up in this class that we have jumped on. And if we win enough games, we could keep them. Let Evan Neal. Now, this young man, there's nowhere in the world we should bash him. Absolutely not. He went to Bama. He signed with the best team in the country. I get that. He was a Miami lean for a while, but he decided to go there. This man is almost 7 foot. So how long do you think his wingspan is? 8 foot wingspan, something? This man got almost a 42-inch wingspan. The kid was like 38, something like that.
Oh, I got to get his donation, a big one. Kendrick Harris, a 50. I haven't seen one of these in a long time. Usually these are OG club type donations. A $50 donation from Kendrick Harris. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Thank you. I need to get you over on Patreon. that's a, I don't see them too often. Appreciate that, Kendrick. Thank you so much, man. Much needed too. Definitely much needed. For real, because I got to raise this money for these ROTC kids. So that's definitely much needed.
That's wonderful, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for donating that, man. And it's not about me, and it's not about just so, but this money not only goes to his 1219 YouTube channel, it goes into the 1219 Foundation, which helps kids for the 707 camp that Zoe is working on doing. The 1219 Foundation is going to be big, man. And over the next year or two, we're going to be able to do a lot more if you all continue to donate, man. And it's not, Zoe ain't tell me to do this. This is just something I'm doing off the chart. But it's because I don't think y'all understand the power of monies, man. When people have money, they're able to really help. And a voice is one thing, but when you got money, you can put that voice in somebody who wants to do something like Zoe does for the people. We're going to actually be able to make something shake, and it won't just be about football.
Just look.
Thank you all for those who donate, man. We truly appreciate that.
Just look at how powerful Nipsey Hussle was. He wasn't powerful, but that powerful because of his music. He was that powerful because of what he meant to the community and what he gave back to the community. You got a lot of rappers that will die that was worth way more than $8 million. You know what I'm saying? More than Nipsey Hussle was worth. But he worth $8 million, but put $20 million in the community. How do you do that? That's what he did.
Think about that, Joe. Think about that.
So,
and how many things can we really honestly, without getting off too far off topic, we'll end up going back to football. But how many things do you think that man did for people that wasn't publicized, that we'll never know that he did? How much money he really spent that was off the books because he didn't want record of that. He just wanted to make sure that it was done the right way.
How many rappers have died since Biggie and Pop? A lot, right? A lot of rappers have died since. How many rappers have been compared to a Biggie or Pop when they died? None that I can remember. Nipsey is compared and on that level. Maybe not musically, but what you look at what he's doing, put it away. He ain't still in the news for nothing. All right. He is already on
every single day. We still talking about this young man.
Exactly. Because of what he did to the community, and that's what I want the 1219 Foundation to be about, is what we give to the community, what we do for the community, and it's regardless of donation, it's gonna get there. I'm gonna send out. I got a friend of mine trying to work on what's that called? Like little I forgot what it's called when you get grants and stuff. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna help the community out, man. Because I tell people, I'm a YouTube blogger on Miami Hurricane, but I'm black first, and I understand how it is to be a person of color, growing up in. I grew up in Harlem, growing up in impoverished neighborhoods, and how hard it is to succeed and come out of those situations. So it's not a race thing. It's not a racist thing. It's racial. Just to be honest with you, and I tell people that it's not racist. It's racial. I just understand what it's like to be a person of color. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in an impoverished neighborhood and how hard it is to fight your way out of it. And it's very hard. So let's get back to football. I appreciate you spitting that for me on the Holsum one. And that $50 donation, I most definitely appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Kendrick, thank you.
Of course, man, because it's a family. It's not just about that we wear. It's a family, man. It's not about just the players, it's not about just the fans. It's all of us together. And we truly appreciate one another. All right, so back to football. So the main guy that I'm so excited about, and I think the big thing about recruiting Kane's family is being able to develop these guys, but developing becomes a lot easier when you have great talent to develop. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
You know, if you got a 5-star guy that comes in, let's take Chad Thomas. Chad wasn't able to really make plays until his junior. He took off his senior year, but he wasn't able to make plays because of that bad system. Okay, that's coaching. That has nothing to do with Chad, right?
Exactly.
But you got a guy like Trent Harris, who was a 3-star recruit, who was making plays regardless of the system, and he made plays whenever he was on the football field. And he took it as a genuine joy to be on the field as a Miami Hurricane and made plays whenever he wanted. Could you imagine him having Manny Diaz for 4 years?
Yeah, I actually could.
Could you imagine what we could have done with a guy like that,
and
who now is a rotational edge rusher for the New England Patriots as an undrafted free agent after just 1 year of big productivity.
And Chad Thomas would have had to sit a little bit because Manny wouldn't have been happy with the effort.
Exactly. And that's no disrespect to Chad, but you 6'6", 275, and you graduated in 2014, and I don't hear from you until 2017.
Yeah, and Manny would. I think Manny's big on effort. If you don't show effort, man. People look at people like Kobe and LeBron and Jordan, and those guys are just great, but those guys show effort every game. Every game. As much as we pick on LeBron, and he's not that killer like Kobe and Jordan, which he's not, but you can't say he didn't play hard every single game. Every game he's out there. Russell Westbrook plays hard every game that he's out there. Lawrence Taylor, those guys like that, you know, they didn't just depend on their talent. They didn't just depend on their naturally talented gifts. They played and worked as hard as they could every game. And that's what I love about Manny. He's gonna push these guys.
And then let's even take somebody on our roster right now. Let's take Zach McCloud against Mike Pinkney, who was rated higher coming out of high school. Do you remember?
I think Pinkney was rated higher.
McCloud
was ranked higher.
McCloud was a number 3 linebacker in the country. Mike Pinkney was a 3-star, boss. Okay. A 3-star recruit.
All right, get me straight on my own damn show. Y'all see that, right? My bad.
My bad. Zach McCloud was the one that had all this hype. He decommitted to us because he was going to end up going to Florida State. But then, you know, Mandy was able to get in his ear, and, you know, he was able to keep him and everything. But if we look at somebody who's 6'4", running a 4.4, 240 pounds, and then you take Pinkney, who's 6'1", 230, who run maybe like 4'6", 4'7". But that young man gives effort on every single play.
Hey, Brandon,
he studies that play.
I'm sorry, Brandon. We got to get that word out of your mouth because you use that word too loosely for me. I'm just being straight up honest with you. Like you use calling people trash a little too because you know why I say you use it too loosely for me, because there is no way that you would walk up to any of those players one-on-one and say that they're trash. I'm just being honest, man. We bro, serious. I mean, I'm just being for real. You use that just a little too loosely for me. You can say he might not be as good as you, but trash is like the bottom of the barrel. It's like trash, like you're garbage. Just throw it away with the rats. And it's not one person that plays for University of Miami that's trash. May not be, you know what I'm saying, on a level that you want them to be. It's not one. I don't know. It's one player in NCAA, 119 schools that's trash. May not be as good, but in order to get a scholarship at one of these schools, you're not. Believe me when I tell you, you're not trash. Maybe just not work as hard to be as good as you want them to be. But I'm gonna have to get that word out of your vocabulary, my brother, because trash is like, to me, that's like those guys work too hard to be called trash. Like serious.
So do you think that there's a difference between the term trash and then there's a difference between somebody being overrated and the productivity not?
Oh yeah, you could say overrated all day. Overrated. Right. I'm all for that.
Because I think we could start drifting into using that term.
Yeah, let's use that term like, because
like Zach McCloud, Robert Knowles.
You're not now. First of all, keeping it G is keeping it gangster, right? I'm from the streets, homie. Keeping it G is, you know what I'm saying, when you see somebody, you taking from them. Keeping it G is I'm on the block hustling every day. I'm a gangster. I ain't got no job. I'm going to get it any type of way. Because I used to keep it G. So keeping it G rated, but you ain't keeping it gangster. Keeping it gangsters, that mean I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die for mine. So come on with the street, bro. I'm from them streets, homie. You can't. I'm not a YouTube blogger that's out of touch with the hood. Like I told you, my nephew just got shot 3 times. And he keeps it G. All I'm saying is, my brother, trash is that's to me, that's like, I wouldn't call you trash, man. Serious, I wouldn't do that. And Brandon, do you think you would call one of them players? You think you would call one of them players trash to their face? Be real. Do you think you would call one of them players trash to their face? You think you would walk up to McLeod and it's just you and McLeod standing right there, face to face? You say, bro, you trash. I know I wouldn't. I'm not taking that ass cutting for you, cuz you can say what you want to say. Them boys work out every single day. I don't want them problems. I'm just telling you, I don't want them problems. Because I know that's a fight I'm not going to win. But you could say overrated, like the Holsum one just said. That she was overrated. He overrated. I said that about Tate Martell. I think he overrated. I ain't call him trash because he worked hard to get where he at. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't want to use these derogatory, stuff like that especially when it comes to kids, but even anybody. Like trash is like bottom of the barrel. That's it. You can't go no lower than trash except when you go to the what's that? The landfill.
The feces.
Yeah, it's like I don't like that trash. I don't like calling people trash, man, or garbage. I just don't. I'm serious. Roger with $5 donation. Appreciate that, Roger. Thanks, man. All right, Dennis, please. I'm gonna start muting them comments, man. Y'all playing with me. I'm dead serious, man. Stop serious. Let's stop doing that, man. For real, let's stop doing that. I'm asking. I'm asking you guys to, you know what I'm saying? Say overrated. I'm asking. I'm not telling. I'm asking. But if you use the term and I don't respond to you, don't get mad at me. How about that? I won't block you. I won't mute you. But if you use the term and I don't respond to you, then it is what it is. I didn't say you fear nobody. I don't fear nobody, but I'm smart enough not to take an ass cutting when I don't have to. It's a difference. It's a difference of being afraid and being smart. I mean, if he run up on me to fight me, I'm not running, but I'm not starting the fight. How about that? You gonna start a fight with Michael J. White? You gonna start a fight with Michael J. White? All right, let's see how that work out for you. If Kimbo Sykes was living, you would go start a fight with him? All right, let's see how that work out for you. I'm trying to talk my way out that fight first. Telling you me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going home all lumped up. My kids and wife looking at me like, honey, what happened? I started a fight with McLeod, man. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go. Oh, man. I'm just saying, I know we only talking YouTube, but I'm just saying, like, trash is like, to me, it's like demeaning. Yeah, you call Mark Richt playbook trash because that playbook was trash, but I'm not calling him trash. He was just unfit to be coach. $1 donation from Joseph Home. Appreciate that, Joseph. All right, let's get back to the
Time out now. You did call him less of a man, though. If we're gonna be,
I did. You know why?
Less of a man.
I did, and I still stand by that because anybody who puts their son ahead of a whole organization and ahead of all those kids, and you are the caretaker of those kids, and you put your son ahead of that, then what does that make you?
I wouldn't call him less of a man.
I did because how many parents?
Because we was on together when you first said it. I was
time
like,
out. How many parents did your mother and father entrust those coaches with your life and your livelihood? And you put exactly. And when
all the way up here,
exactly, and when you go sit on those kids' couches and stuff like that, right? You putting those kids first, right? He put his son first. He put his. You should have never done that. And you put your son before the kids on the team, before the university. You should have never even hired him if you were going to do that. And I would tell him that to his face, because if it was a mutiny. You don't do that. You don't. I got daughters. I got a daughter on ROTC right now, and she'll tell you, I treat all of those kids exact same as I do my daughter. I don't put my daughter before them. Not out there on that, because they're all in that together. They're all one.
Right.
And you can ask every child on that RT, all 60 of them. Ask them. He put those kids in them. Put it away. Amar Richardson's career is over because of his son, basically. Calling plays and got his son hurt, and put Malik Rozier in there, calling plays and got Amar Richardson's career killed. Killed that young man's career. Knowing how bad them, and almost killed Jeff Thomas' career with that catch he had to make against LSU.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you do that? A man wouldn't do that. A man would put them kids in the best predicament to be safe and to win ball games, not put my son first because he's my son. I stand by that. And I tell him that. I stand by that. And he's a grown man. These are kids. He ought to know better. I might be too hard on Rick.
All right, so let's
he make more money than me too. He said I'm too hard on Rick. Rick ain't worrying about me. Rick sitting back sipping martinis and at his youth group right now with $70 million in his bank account. I got minus $70 in my bank account and sipping on water on YouTube. Mark Rick ain't worried about me. Dry martinis with no alcohol.
The Bible says you could have liquor, you just can't indulge.
Can't indulge.
So
They
got a
drunk.
couple in that.
They drunk wine. So, all right, good. Now you was on defense, and we got all the way off. You was on defensive line.
Yeah.
All right.
So the defensive end, now defensive tackle recruiting is yet again tough for us. We not pulling in the right numbers, and we of course offering guys, but yet again I believe we're gonna end up getting in that same situation where we bringing in a project guy, which yet again I don't really get mad at with Coach Manny Diaz, because the last 3 years of him as our defensive coordinator, no matter what the name or the number on the back or the number of on the jersey was, they made plays for us. Going back to Kendrick Norton and R.J. McIntosh to Pat Bethel and Gerald Willis. And I expect the same from Nestor, John Ford, and Pat Bethel this year. So him taking a project defensive tackle is not as much of an issue in my mind as another coach taking on a project defensive tackle. But Willie Mose is our defensive tackle who's committed to us right now. He's 6'3", 276 from Chaminade, Madonna. Now, we've been bringing in a lot of guys from Chaminade. That's been a real nice connection there, and hopefully we can keep that going because they put out a lot of Division I players every year. So hopefully we can keep that going with the connection at Chaminade, Madonna. And they just won state championship a couple years ago.
Okay. Got a $2 donation from Sean Dinga. Make sure I pronounce his name right, because he said if it pops him, he pronounce his name wrong, I'm gonna get jumped on. $2 donation from Sean Dinga. What's up, Zoe? What's up, bro? Zoe? Hurricane Zoe now. It's Hurricane Zoe now. It's the new name, Hurricane Zoe. Now, besides the kid from Chaminade, what do you think? What do you think about, like you say, we don't get that. We might not get that, you know what I'm saying, for another year, so we might not get that top tier star. But see, I don't always look at star, I look at dog. What are some of these players that you think that might not have, that could be a 3-star? That, like you said, you may forget his name already. It was a 3-star. He was a dog. Who you think might be that 3 or 4, that 3-star that might just be a dog that just gonna go get it?
That's just gonna go hard for us. I'm gonna take this guy, Vernon Broughton, defensive tackle from Houston. Now, this here is a dog that actually has the star rating that has us in his top 5, but he's from Texas. Okay, and that's perfectly fine because
I'm sorry, David. There was no. Hold on, David. There was no star rating back then. Ed Reed wasn't a 2-star because there was no star rating. I know a lot of people throw that out, but there was no star rating back then. They had something different, but it wasn't a star. It wasn't a star system. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had kind of let him know about that. I know a lot of people keep saying Avery was a 2-star. There was no star rating back then. But go ahead, Holsum.
A lot of people want us to have that South Florida connection, and I completely understand that. I'm 100% on board with that. But sometimes when it comes to offense and defense alignment, we need to step outside of South Florida to go get some dogs. Because South Florida doesn't put out, they do to a certain extent, but it doesn't come in bulk of the size and playmaking ability defensive tackles like we do at defensive end, because there's so much speed down there in South Florida.
I'm gonna beg to differ a little bit, because a lot of Alabama defensive tackles come from Miami, from South Florida. And they tend to do pretty doggone well with the way they recruit South Florida and they defensive linemen. I remember one year, I think their whole star defensive line was from South Florida.
I don't know about that one, so you have to show me that.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
They defensive interior linemen come from Louisiana, from Georgia, from Bama. Now, if you're talking North Florida, okay, I hear you. But South Florida, to me, is considered Orlando, Tampa area down.
Yeah, I consider North Florida starting Jacksonville. Actually, the Panhandle.
So the only part you consider South Florida is what? From where to where?
I consider Central Florida right past Jacksonville, going up to Orlando, past Orlando, Daytona. South Florida really starts in like West Palm, somewhere around that area.
Okay. So you got South, Central, and North. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just usually cut it in half. I usually just do South Florida. Is that Tampa line?
That's west.
Down.
To me, that's west.
Like South Florida, but
Tampa
anyway,
west.
That's
I use Tampa St. Pete as West Florida.
Okay. And we got a couple of defensive tackles that we are in Florida. The Florida Gators have been taking a lot of our defense alignment that we had in our top 2, top 3 because of their productivity of defense alignment. Now we are slowly getting to that point where recruits are starting to see, hey, if I go to the U, I could produce at defense line too, because under Golden, we weren't producing with defense alignment, especially interior. So we had to go to small town Georgia to convince people to come down to the U and play for us. Well, now Manny is saying, I don't care who you are, you could come produce in my defense.
Oh yeah, see, I'm all for which like you saying, going to some of these small towns, and I don't care, man. I don't care if you come from Brooklyn, Mississippi, and there's no place called Brooklyn, Mississippi. That's just one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite terms when, you know what I'm saying, when somebody say, well, I don't care if you're from Brooklyn, Mississippi. That means you can be from middle of nowhere and be if you are, to be honest with you, I don't care what position you play. You know what I'm saying? If you are a dog, you're a dog. It's in you. But yeah, you're right. You can't just depend on South Florida. When you depend on South Florida, you depending on the running back, wide receiver, defensive end, cornerback, safety. That's what you're really depending on, South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But even on offensive lineman, you're not the interior lineman, you're not really depending on South Florida. And one reason is because those guys really don't put that weight on like that anyway, because it's so hot.
And we don't really depend on that. That's not our thing. Even Vince Wilfork and Warren Sapp, two of the greatest defensive linemen, were from Polk County area. They wasn't from South Florida technically.
But it's to be honest with you,
North Florida.
You look at how hot it gets in South Florida. It's hard to pack that weight on. Like serious. You're not gonna get those big guys really like that, because it's hard to pack that weight on and play football.
Right, a lot of them, if you're tall, they end up just playing basketball. Yeah, or you tall and slender, you play DN.
It's 200 degrees out there, man.
6'5" defensive tackles to play at Miami Northwestern like that. That's really worth anything.
It's too high.
They might have that size, but they may not be the best player. You get what I'm saying?
Not just that. You're not going to be 6'5", 295 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Playing in that heat. It's almost impossible to do that. You know what I'm saying? On a daily basis. That's another reason why people don't understand why they got that dome built too. Why they got that? Because it's too hot just to do that all the time. You got to be in a rotate. It's hot in Alabama, but it gets cold up this way. It doesn't get cold there. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's that heat has a lot to do with why you don't have those big guys, because it's too hot. And I heard I seen a guy in the chat say 15 years from now, Golden is going to be, Mark Rick is going to be considered like Butch Davis. And nah.
Excuse me?
Butch Davis was knocking on he was knocking on the door of a champion, and people don't realize the team that won the championship, they consider the best team in college football ever. No, the year before that team was the greatest team in college football. They just didn't win the championship because you had Santana Moss and all those other guys on that team, including the guys that was on the team that won the championship. Just think about it.
I think the reason why people say that is because, you know, Sean Taylor, Vince Wilfork, Antrell Roll, and Kellen Winslow were all freshmen on that 2001 team. So the quote-unquote star system, the higher recruits, were on the bench. So it's more of a cachet, and it makes you think like, oh, wow, it had to be such a huge nostalgia when it comes to that team because some NFL greats, some NFL Hall of Famers weren't even allowed to play.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's why I think they get so much love. Not saying that they don't deserve it.
No, they definitely deserve it.
You know that if you ask the Canes of the late 90s,
I'm gonna let you talk.
Dan Morgan, Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, and all of them on that squad. That's who Ed Reed them practiced with, and that's why the 2001 team was so good because they practiced with the late 90s teams that made them so good in the early 2000s. And that's what we got away from now is packing on recruiting class that all want to come in, all want to play. So it created such a great atmosphere of competition where over the last couple of years, if it was a whole bunch of favoritism and it was like, all right, well, if you was a 4-5 star, you starting. Back then, they didn't care if you was a 2-star. If you just worked your behind off and made plays, then you were on the football field and you played. Under Al Golden, that's not how it was.
You keep talking because that was my neighbor. I'm about to go out in a little bit. She lost her chihuahua, so I'm about to go help her find her chihuahua. But keep going.
Okay. So yeah, defensive tackles. We got a guy from a popular Jalen Carter, 6'3.5", 3-star defensive tackle. He's kind of becoming a Florida lean. They own him pretty hard. But he's warming up, according to 247 Sports, to the Miami recruitment. And, we've been on him real hard, trying to get him to come down on a visit and things of that nature. Another guy, Emmanuel Rogers, 3-star defensive tackle, 6'5", 300 pounds, from Jason Beach, and Jason Beach, Florida, Central Florida. It's a whole bunch of dogs up that way. We just got to start pulling into where the Gators were getting a lot of these guys and building a great relationship with the high school coaches. Excuse me, because as a high school coach, you're thinking, all right, I want to send my kid to the best place to where he can get coached up and he could produce so that he could play in the NFL. That's what a lot of high school coaches think, if that opportunity presents itself. Well, if I send you to a place that hasn't been producing, hasn't allowed these guys to make plays, it hasn't allowed them to get coached up and produce and have the production on the field, then the NFL won't come calling for them. Look at a guy like Anthony Moten. Y'all remember Anthony Moten?
Oh, yeah.
A 4-star, highly recruited defensive tackle, came here and lost his position to a guy that was recruited to play guard. Kendrick Norton was coming to the University of Miami. And the only reason why he signed to the U, he was going to go to Bama to play guard and center up there at 6'1". But he came to the U because we allowed him to play defensive tackle. And that's why he picked us. And
I was disappointed in Anthony Moten. And I think I seen him on Maury Povich or something like that. He was on one of them shows. He was on Maury or something. I forgot. I seen him on something. One of them talk shows. I promise you, I think he was on Maury. I swear I think Anthony Moten was on Maury, man. For real, I swear to you. But, like, what in the world, bro?
Moten was an article. I think it was shared on Facebook. It was about a year ago now, right?
Yeah, I think it was on Maury. I seen the episode.
Yeah, he was on Maury. He said he did it for some money, but it was acting, but he needed the money, so he did it. But he's on a practice squad right now for the Dolphins. Well, let's take a 3-star guard who played at IMG and Kendrick Norton, or a 4-star, 5-star defensive tackle. Kendrick Norton comes from O-line and takes this guy's job. And Kendrick Norton was class of 2015. Anthony Moulton was 2014. And Kendrick come and take reps from him to the point where bro don't even play his senior year like that because of them.
Answer this question though, because I stepped outside. Could you would that be a lot on Kendrick Norton, or would that be a lot on the coaching staff, or would you like put it 50-50 on that? Because like some players, like, right, you have some players that really loved, be honest with you, have some players that really loved Golden and really loved Denarfield, to be honest with you. And a lot of that system didn't fit some of those players. So it's like, because it was the way it was more of a at defensive tackle, stand up, you know what I'm saying, and hold up the line.
Hold that gap.
Yeah, and it's like
it wasn't about you shooting gaps and making plays. It was about you just holding the gap for the linebackers.
Exactly. So do you think that you know what I'm saying, like a lot of Michael White too, another one. Oh, said Michael White was on more. It might have been White. I know it was one of them, but yeah, I mean, so it takes you completely out of what you do, like all the way. They don't even do that in NFL. They draft players to where they're not going to draft a defensive tackle that shoots gaps for a defensive tackle that
holes and mans the gap. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
just like I saw a couple people mock Gerald Willis to the Patriots. What? Gerald Willis not gonna sit there and double gap all game long?
Nah, he's gonna shoot. That's not the type of player. And they're not gonna try to develop into that. He's a go-getter. They're not gonna try to. One thing I hate about NFL, man, I'm gonna tip only watch NFL no more, because it's like you never get to see players develop their full of potential, because by the time they get there, they're getting traded. Oh my God, it's like, oh, they need to do more like the NBA, and where you can keep players longer, man. Goodness gracious. As soon as your players get pretty good, they got to go, because you can't afford to pay them.
Yeah, because they wait until the third or fourth year to where the guy is finally developed to be able to make plays, especially because offensive line, defensive line, and of course quarterback and cornerback, to me, are those 3 or 4 positions where it takes you 2 to 3 years of NFL strength and conditioning, NFL coaching, a couple of training camps, a couple of practice against big, strong, grown men, to where you finally take that next step. And only the great ones show up, their rookie year or whatever, and sustain it.
I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Vince Wilfork was good, but come year 4, year 5, he turned into an all-pro. Good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You rarely find your Warren Sapp to where from the first snap he's just a GOAT, and it's nothing that anybody could do about it.
I'm not a Dallas Cowboy, a San Francisco fan, but I just missed them days when you could actually build a team, man, and you could keep that team together. That's when NFL was good, man. Now, man, you can't even keep a team together. That shit sucks. I tried to watch some games this year, and I was just like, oh my God, this is miserable.
You ain't gonna like the game next year, because I think according to NFL Network, 73% of all NFL teams will look different.
It won't look different to me, because I didn't watch no NFL last year. So they look the same to me.
Okay.
I don't think I know.
I would say that because all of the free agents went different. They went to different places. You rarely got people who re-signed with where they was originally gonna go in.
They gotta stop. That's why I can't watch it. At least in college, I know we got a guy for at least 2-3 years.
Right.
I know we got a guy for maybe 3 years.
Barring any injuries, I'm gonna see this same. I'm gonna see Shaq Quarterman, number 55 for the University of Miami,
3 years
on the field from 2016 through at least 2017. Barring any injuries.
Yeah, I mean, usually I don't think
but
nobody.
You can't say that in the NFL.
Has it? Did Maurice Claret try that sophomore thing and it didn't work for him? He tried to come out the sophomore year. I think you have to complete. I think you have to complete your junior year, right? You can't come out to the end of your junior year. So I'm gonna see you for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm gonna see you play for 3 years. If you're a star, I'm gonna see you play for 3 years. The team gonna be put together for 3 years. I get to see that. You know what I'm saying? NFL like every year you got 30% changeover on the damn roster. Like, God dang, no wonder New England keep winning. Because you can't even.
And see, the part about the Clorette thing was a lot of people say, "Oh, well, he tried to go and he ended up being trash and all that." Anyway, man, that man was mentally defeated.
Yeah,
he did all that. He got on all them drugs because it didn't work out, and then they're gonna finally give him his opportunity once they realize he was completely out of it. We ain't even gonna get into how corrupt that game is, but we ain't gonna go there.
I just can't get into the NFL. I just can't. I tried last year. I can't get. I used to be the biggest NFL fan. I just can't get into it no more. But like I said, I was an NFL fan when you was able to. The Giants was able to build the Giants. The Dolphins were able to build the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? Even though they didn't win, they were Dan Marino. They was able to build that They was able to build that team, and now it's like right now, Manny Diaz is able to build his team. You know, college football is way more exciting because, like you say, North Dakota State, you had people behind you. You know what I'm saying? But y'all were able to build that. Y'all was able to build that chemistry, and then you had people behind you that watched how you did it, and it was a culture. It's a culture there. NFL, there's no culture in NFL no more. It's free agency. There's no culture, and I don't mind free agency, but damn, at least in the NBA, it's more like they got this thing called the bird rights, where I can re-sign my player and won't take a cap hit for it. You know what I'm saying? The players I develop, I can re-sign. That's why you see a team. That's why you're able to see teams stay together a little longer in the NBA now. You know, with superstars on them because they can sign the bird rights and they won't have to pay that luxury tax. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like NFL need to come with something like that because it's starting to get sickening, not knowing who won't be on what team. Another thing that killed NFL to me is damn, even though everybody like it, what's it called? The fantasy football. Even though everybody like it, to me that killed football because now it's all about just your stats. It's like
you're right, and it turned into being just about the player that you wanted. Like you would love. Let's say you had David Njoku. Well, I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan, but David Njoku played for the Cleveland Browns. Well, I want him to have a monster game. They don't need to win, but I need him to have a monster game so that I could win fantasy. So then people start rooting against their own squads for the success of their fantasy squad.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I know I got all the way off topic, but when we just started talking about NFL, I was like, oh my gosh. I tried to do it.
No, I mean that's how you know we got good chemistry when you're able to just flow and just go. You know, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, y'all tell me, that's my little brother, man. I love him to death. Anything happen to him, I'm coming to Florida. No, I don't know if I'm coming to North Dakota. I got to get the guns because they got big guns up in North Dakota.
Yeah, you might like the gun ranges out here, but I don't know about you.
I don't think I survive out there in the wilderness for 6 hours.
We got Salt City now. Don't do us like that.
I'm just saying I wouldn't survive in the wilderness for 6 hours. I'd die. You know what I'm saying? If I had to live off the earth and cold and shit, no, I'd be dead.
Yeah, this man can't go.
Eating tree bark and shit.
Now let's talk a little offensive line. I think I spent a long time on defensive line. First of all, our offensive line is really inexperienced. So a lot of recruits, contrary to what people think, recruits really do sit there and look at our roster, look at the classification. Classification meaning what year the player is, whether it's redshirt, freshman, redshirt, sophomore, junior, all of that. And they look at them before they really sit up there and say, okay, I'm truly considering the University of Miami. Because that's why I think we had such an issue with recruiting left tackle behind Eric Flowers. Because Eric Flowers started since his true freshman year. And you don't rotate offensive linemen. If you're out there, you're out there. Unless somebody's extremely tired. But even then, you come in for a couple snaps, give them a blow, and then they go right back out there. So right now, at left tackle, we have Scaife. Now, Scaife is a true sophomore. And on the opposite side of him, we have John Campbell, who's a redshirt freshman. Hillary, who's a redshirt sophomore. Gaynor, who's a redshirt sophomore. And Donaldson, who's a junior at left guard. So our issue with bringing in these kids for recruitment is we have young and inexperienced offensive linemen. So they might struggle at times next year, which is going to influence people to make it think that our offensive line coach isn't good. No, these kids are just not used to playing Division I college football. They haven't been on the field. That's where you get to teams like your Clemson's, who's been building for years and years and years, and you rarely hear about freshmen playing on their football field. Why? Because they have been developing them, the junior who's a starter. They've been developing the redshirt sophomore and the redshirt senior who's a starter. And then the kids under them practice against the older guys. So then when they do get on the field, they won't be inexperienced because for 2-3 years they've been practicing against NFL quality offensive defensive linemen. Well, at the U, we haven't had that. We can only go back to 2016 and truly consider it as an offensive defensive line, people learning how to be productive and how to learn under one another and how to be coached and how to take coaching and how to do what the coach says, leading to productivity. Well, if you've been shooting the A gap and the B gaps all 4 years of high school, but then you come here and I tell you, no, I want you to just hold this offensive lineman at the line of scrimmage and then look in both gaps and then read rather run a pass and then react off of that. Well, then you're teaching somebody to play slow. You're teaching them to play slow reactionary football. Well, coaching in South Florida and recruiting South Florida recruits, that does not work. So only since 2016 have our guys been taught to shoot one gap, man that one gap, and make sure the play don't come here. Only since 2016 can we say we've had productivity on the interior defensive line and to a certain extent any defensive line productivity since 2016. So that's why it's been tough for us to really bring in those recruits because these guys look and say, they look it up. And every time we turn around, somebody blaming the offensive line. Every time we turn around, somebody blaming the pass rush. The kids don't want to be a part of that. They want to be a part of production. So that's why this point moving forward, we're projected to do so much better because we're starting to produce. And that's why these young sophomores and freshmen and juniors could say, I want to come to the U because we are actually producing on the offensive and defensive line. Contrary to some people's belief.
I'm gonna let Jamaica Kane come in for a second because he has I'm gonna let you have a little conversation with him. But I remember specifically saying at the beginning of this show, if anybody was in, that we were gonna talk offense and defensive line today because we are building from the interior, and those are the most important. Those are the most important part of the football team, offense and defensive line.
Correct.
Before quarterback, before running back, before receiver, if those positions aren't, they have to be the best on the field. Because the quarterback can't get rid of football, you can't open up holes. You can't. Those guys are the most important. So I could have swore when I first got in. I'm saying this to somebody. I could have swore when I first got in. That's what I said we were going to talk about.
Right.
So
is there somebody like disagreeing on the?
Nah. Somebody I'm texting disagreeing.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna give.
I appreciate that, Kelsey. I appreciate that, Gary, and I appreciate Carlos Rivera. I do know my stuff, and I get passionate about offense and defensive line because I play.
And y'all know,
and I hate when people get on here and slander offensive defensive line. Slander offensive defensive line coaches and don't even know what all of that stuff entails, man. It takes a lot to coach that. It takes a lot to tell a 6'5" man that he ain't producing without him getting all of his feelings.
I'm about to get in my feelings.
Going out there and playing.
I'm about to get no, forget. I'm about to get in my feelings. I'm about to get in my damn feelings. I said the same thing for the past 3 years with Mark Richt offense and offensive line, and ain't nobody say I know what I'm talking about. And I played linebacker, so I know a lot about the offensive line. I had to study the line, and I said the same thing. And you know what, man? I ain't let you back on the show no more. I ain't let you back on the show no more. Cause I know I was saying the same thing, and I was getting killed. And all of a sudden, that brother know what he talking about. Y'all some square. Y'all some busters. I'm going West Coast. Y'all a bunch of busters. I'm going West Coast busters. I've been saying this. Whatever. I quit. This show here is gonna be the Holsum show now. I'll quit. Y'all some busters. Y'all some busters. Man, I know I've been saying the same. I've been talking about the play calling, and I've been breaking it down. And just because he sounds more intelligent than me, and probably is more intelligent. And so what? So what? I sound stupid sometimes. That shouldn't matter. It's what come out the way it. Whatever, man. Yep, it's some backstab busters. I'll sit here and give my little brother all the damn shine. And I was working. I was working hard. I feel like Nipsey Hussle brother. He was a big brother, and I feel like his brother right now. Whatever, man. Shoot, I don't care. Whatever, man. I don't care. Getting Jamaica Kane in here because Jamaica Kane is supposed to be on with the Holsum one today. So we're gonna get him in here.
Hello.
What's going on, bro? What's good with you, my brother?
What's going on? Do I need to put my headgear on, man? Is Zoe about to beat me up? You know,
no, because I told you your text and your talk sometimes is like I get irritated with something.
No, my text. If you show everybody my text,
I would show everybody a text, right? And that's why I said that's why I asked if you want me to read it. Would you like me to? No. Would you like I do what? You said I do what?
Say it again.
You said I do what? I ain't mean to hang up on you, host. I'm sorry. You said I do what?
I don't know what it is. Because we're East Coast guys or something, man. You should be harder than everybody else.
No, I don't. Okay. I don't treat you harder than everybody else. I treat you the way I treat you your text messages. Were you on when we first got on?
My text message is very clear.
Would you like me to? And I'm being very clear. See, you text people like people stupid. That's what I'm saying. Were you on when we first got on? Were you on when we first got on? Were you on there when we first got on?
Say it again.
Were you on the air when we first got on?
No, I came.
Okay.
I came in,
okay.
Wait, I had a meeting. I had a meeting because I got basketball.
Okay, so you weren't on the air.
I had an Under Armour meeting, so I came in a little.
So you weren't on the air when we first got on. So when we first got on, we decided we was going to discuss offense and defense alignments at the end, and we was going to work on other things next week. That's what we decided.
And the last time we was on,
you didn't. You just said you wanted to talk to him. The last time you said you just wanted to talk to him. That's what you said last time.
I wanted to talk to him.
But you didn't say what about.
I only want to say a few things now, and that's it, man, and I'm gone.
No, you can stay as long as you need to. I'm just saying, but you didn't say what about. So when you text me, it was like
okay. I didn't see the beginning.
So exactly. When you text me the way you text me, that's what I was. When you text me the way you text me, that's why I respond. I give you the same energy you give me.
Okay. So is he still on?
Yeah, he's still on. What's going on, Holsum? I think he's still on. He was on. Call was merged. Or maybe not. He might. Let me call him back. He was on. He might have hung up. Might have got him. Let me see some. Hold on. Because I noticed.
Man, if Joe gonna beat him up, I don't want to be a part of it.
Nah, he ain't like that. I might have accidentally hung up on him. So I got to go to. I could have swore I had merged the calls.
Whoa.
I thought I had merged it. Both of y'all on now. So now we have the Holsum. Yo, you hear me?
What's going on, my brother? How's everything with you, man? Hello? You can hear me? You can't hear me, man.
Holsum, when you can't hear, I got it merged. I can hear you.
Sure you can. I can hear you too, but I can't hear him.
I can hear him. I heard him.
No, I hear him, but I guess he can't hear us.
We hear you, Holsum. We hear you.
Hey, Zoe, we hear him saying something, but we
Hold on, let me take it off. I'm gonna take the Bluetooth off and try to put it on speaker and see if we can hear a little better. No, don't hang up. Don't hang up. Hey, Holsum, can you hear me? Holsum, I don't know what the hell happened. Hey, hang up, Ross. I'm gonna call both of y'all back. I'm gonna do a conference call, try to call both of y'all back.
I'm gonna hang up, okay?
All right, go ahead.
Let's do this football. Let's focus on this thing. All right, call me back.
Hold on, no, don't hang up. 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 Hello?
Yo, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you when you merge it. I can't hear y'all.
I'm gonna try.
I don't know if it was just because of Bluetooth.
All right, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna turn the Bluetooth off. And I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it one more time. I don't know why we couldn't. What the heck happened? Why we couldn't do that? Hold on. I don't know why that wouldn't work. Let's try this one more time.
Hello?
All right, hold on. Let me merge. Conference call. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you too.
All right.
All right, man. Good. Let's do the football thing, and I've been doing basketball just 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes ago. Let's do football right now. Let's keep the audience hot, and it's a pleasure speaking to you, man. You know what I'm saying? You do a really good job on YouTube. You do a really good job, man. It's a pleasure speaking to you, man. Thank you, man. I truly appreciate that. All glory be to Allah.
It is Man Crush. It's Man Crush Thursday.
Jamaica came.
Man Crush Thursday.
Say it again?
Man Crush Thursday.
Stop it, man. So, come on, man. Listen. Hey, you know, Zoe, when he got two intelligent people on here, you're going to have to try to act out so people give some attention.
I'm sitting back and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I'm real with mine, though. If I think somebody do his thing, he can do his thing. I'm different from him because it's like he has the paperwork in front of him, or he just have a mind sharp.
No, he don't have no paperwork in front of him. He doesn't have any.
That's all right.
No, he does.
I don't do it like he do it.
Nobody does.
Yeah, I don't remember everybody's name. I go on different things, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, man.
You know, my bad. You know who he remind me of? Him and Mark Rogers, or they have that mind to where they remember every single thing.
They stick to the basics. I'm different. I can't wait for my team to get back to where we're dominating every year. So I like minds like yourself, man, because I want to ask certain questions that I can't get nobody to really answer. And by the way you explain things, the way you dig into your craft, I know you're going to be able to have some of these answers or maybe have some opinion on it. And one of the things I want to talk about, I know we were talking about interior from both sides, but one of the things I was texting him, I said I kind of wanted to deviate a little bit because but let's take a school. Maybe you heard some insight on this, and maybe some people in the chat could answer this. Take a school like Deerfield, right? You tell me also why we don't get talent from them anymore. What went wrong? What coaching staff? Where did we go wrong with them? Because we don't get talent from them anymore. I remember a couple of years ago, the linebacker ended up, I think he's in South Carolina now. I want to say his last name was like Rosario or something like that, Ricardo. Like, he committed to us, and in the middle of this whole thing, he committed. He put the hat on the table, kicked our hat off on the ground, and committed to Florida State. He ended up not going there. Another school that I want to get a little bit more. We have a few kids from there, but why are we not getting kids from Dunbar? You know, any one of those, in that Fort Myers area, we're getting kids slipped through. Next, they're going to Florida State. And the thing that's bothering me the most, we have two kids that I think they're coming from Miami Central. This kid right here, how is it that Henry Gray, a cornerback in our backyard, he picked to go to Ohio State? Someone help me out, man. Yeah.
All right, so you gave me 3 questions. All 3 of them I remember, so no problem.
I'm glad you do, because I was trying to figure out when he going. That's why nobody answered your questions, Jamaica Kane. That's why nobody answered your questions, because you have 500 questions. He's he's smart. He's smarter than everybody.
He's sharp, so he knows what I'm getting at. He knows he's still me. He's still the passion I have about what's been going on. So let us do our thing, though. Can you stay out of it, man? Let us do our thing.
Well, are you gonna propose to him at the end of the show?
Oh, okay.
You throwing shots. You throwing shots. I gotta throw back. You throwing shots at me. How you gonna throw shots at me and I'm not gonna throw it back? You said you need a ring? You need a ring?
You see, man, you saw how I had to put on my headgear. Hopefully the fan didn't get none of my questions, man. No, I really
got you. Go ahead, Holsum, with my bad.
Our fan base, I know a lot of our fan base probably have these questions too. They could chime in and make a comment if they do have comments. Those are serious questions.
You know I'm gonna mess. You know I'm gonna mess with you, man. You said you had your headgear on, so you threw a shot. You threw the first shot though.
I know, but listen, those are serious questions I have. And we need to.
I love this. I love this though.
Yo, you guys was talking about this South Florida thing a little bit, and I was enjoying that because here's the thing: we don't have to get anybody from South Florida, but the main guys. Why every time there's a main guy? Why did we lose a wide receiver to Clemson, who was our main guy that was committed to us at first? Why? It's not just listen.
Let's let him answer. Let's let him answer because I done messed up the whole segment. Go ahead and answer, Mr. Host. The host on one side.
So. Go ahead, man.
Mr. Holloway.
So your first question asked me about Deerfield. Where is Deerfield located? Let me see your geographical knowledge. Where is Deerfield located?
Oh, me? No, I'm not. I go to Florida a lot. I've been in the South Florida. I'm around there and all that, but I do it for the basketball. But I'm a diehard team football guy. So
where are you from?
Me, right? I'm from Jamaica. I live in Jersey, and I got family in Florida, and I got basketball family in Florida. I mean, big time basketball. We big time in Florida.
He's a big time basketball guy, man.
Okay, all right. So
so.
With you being up in Jersey, okay, so let me explain something to you. So Deerfield Beach and Deerfield, our whole area of Polk County, I'll put your first 2 questions together and answer that for you. So geographically right now, the University of Miami, when it comes to Manny Diaz, he is the only coach since Larry Coker who wants to incorporate the Georgias, the South Carolinas, the Northern Floridas, the Alabamas into our recruitment. The Texas is into our recruitment. What that means is he understands that every kid born in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County does not want to be a Miami Hurricane. We'll take them if they're willing to do it, if they're willing to fight for this youth. But there's some kids in that northern area, they grow up Gator fans, dog. They grow up Florida State Seminole fans, and they want to play for them. And that's perfectly fine, because either you're going to play with the U or you're going to get beat by the U. It's just that simple with Manny Diaz's mindset. But I'm going to answer your question about Polk County. Polk County is Gator territory. Gator territory. And what that means is 9 times out of 10, those high school coaches, those Pop Warner coaches, went to the University of Florida or are Florida fans. So all they hear is Gator. Or Seminole when we start talking about Tallahassee and West Orlando type and that Panhandle type.
Duval on up.
Duval County, Jacksonville.
Okay.
That's where you get your Florida State guys.
Yeah, I know a lot of those areas too. Yeah,
like it was crazy. It was crazy that Emmett went to Florida because Tallahassee. You got to pass Tallahassee to go up to Gainesville. And that's all Florida. That's no country, bro. Once you hit Jacksonville, that's no country.
And it was just as crazy for Clinton Portis from Gainesville, went to Gainesville High to come down and play for the Miami Hurricane.
Yep.
So what happens, a little insight for y'all, what happens is these coaches are some of the most influential people in these young men's lives. Coaches, period. Pop Warner coaches, high school coaches, college coaches. NFL is when you start drifting to where it's a business and there's no connection between
the 7-on-7 coaches. I don't want to put too much on that because a lot of people try to blend the AAU and basketball, and I really dislike that. So I don't really want to hit the 7-on-7 guys too much. but a lot of them bring that up. And the reason why let me say this: we have a guy that was very influential in the 7 and 7 on our staff right now, and that's Rump. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad Manny didn't let him go, because he could get right back in that 7 and 7 and take sour breaks and turn some of them kids from ever coming to us. So I was happy to see that he kept them on staff, because I was like, man, if he let him go, he could go right back to that 7 and 7 and be just as influenced for kids not coming to us. So just to chime in and say that. But go ahead, man.
I'm a little different. I'm a little different on the AAU and 7 on 7. I don't like them that much, and it's might be because of personal reason, whatever. But the reason why I don't like them is, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them is based on just like the real world, what you know, who you know, and how much money you got. And I think a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, instead of really putting the kids' best interest at heart, I'm not saying all, but a lot of times, instead of putting the kids' interest at heart, they put themselves at heart. And that's why you look at like the fundamentals of basketball now, you know, is not as good, because, you know what I'm saying, they're not being coached to me as well as they could be because of a lot of these AAUs, and it's not a lot of coaching in it anymore. I'm not saying all, so please don't jump on me.
Yo, Joe, great point. I'm gonna give you an example. Also, you can agree with me. I'm gonna give you a kid that we all knew could play basketball. We all knew he could play football, and some of the kids and some of the 7 and 7, he didn't look as sharp with his techniques as certain things. As soon as he got to field, he showed us that he could play, and I think he's gonna prove us even more that he played. And that's our legacy kid. The legacy is the quarterback. I don't gotta call his name. Everybody know who we talk about, right?
Blaze Jr.?
Yes, because
my God!
But look, you remember what happened to him? What happened to him in high school? We watching big time games on TV. He's on the pitch, and he's going to prove to us that he could play the game of football at the cornerback spot, and even on the safety in the rover. He's going to be all over that field. But I think 7 and 7 kind of like changed him up a little bit. You know, people.
Let me explain something. There's a difference, and I think people don't get this, yo. There's a difference, and you could appreciate this, Zoe, and I think you, Jamaican King, can also appreciate this as a basketball mindset. There's a baller, and then there's practice players. Okay?
Oh, yes, sir.
7 stuff is basically practice. You go out there, you run routes. If you're faster than this guy, you're going to ball. At the end of the day, when it comes to that basketball court, if you know your fundamentals, you know how to pass the ball, you know how to have chemistry with your players on that hardwood, it might not show up at AAU ball, but best believe in that state championship game, you're going to be the one to make the play. You're going to be the one to win because you know how basketball is supposed to be played. When it comes to the football field, you know how to play 11 on 11 helmet shoulder pads football. And that's in that kid's blood. He'll much rather die than get outworked on that football field. And that's why he's getting so much praise now, because we drifted from doing 7-on-7 camps at the University of Miami to now having our pads on, and he's showing up in practice.
Yep. I'm just not a big fan of AAU and 7-on-7.
I agree.
I think it's
they don't understand that there's a huge difference between the two. And that's why some people who have YouTube channels, I give everybody respect. But I know the difference between people who read articles and people who actually know the game of football.
And that's one thing I tell people, you argue me all you want to. I played football my whole life, and I've studied football, and I've watched football, and I coached high school football for 10 years. I coached defensive line and linebackers for 10 years. So it's not like I sit here and when it gets down to it, when you ask me a question about something, I can answer it for you. I'm not great at recruiting, but I understand
But
football.
you're going to spit blood raw. You're going to give it to us.
I understand, because I played the game, and I coached for 10 years, and I know, exactly. and I understand the difference between the gaps. And I know that's why when everybody was getting on the offensive line last year, and I'm sitting here telling people that you stacking 8 men in a box, there's no way 5 men are going to be 8. It's just not going to happen. It's physically impossible. You know what I'm saying? And people are killing it, but they're not getting no push. That's because when you're playing guard and you're playing tackle and you see those guys pointing, the reason why they're not getting pushed is because they're pointing so damn much to figure out who's blitzing from where. And by the time their ball is hyped, they can't get set because they calling the same plays over and over again. If I'm a linebacker and I'm playing against this offensive line, and I know for a fact there is no motion, there is no nothing, and I know exactly what play you're gonna run. I'm shooting every gap. I'm shooting the gap every time.
Shoot that gap. Yeah. Hey, Holsum, let me ask you a question. What do you prefer? Do you prefer zone blocking or gap, like the hitter type, the guard pull, and then he strikes, and that kind of pops the running back through, and he next he's getting 5, 6, 7, getting knocked out of bounds. Now you prefer zone blocking, Holsum one, or you prefer the quick hitter?
The man-on type of good. It depends, but I'm gonna give you a flat answer because I like people that get straight to their answers. Okay? I would say that I enjoy zone blocking because of the simple fact it's harder for a defense to read that. Because with zone blocking, you can mix it up as to when it comes to pulling. Now that right guard is now replacing our left tackle because the whole offensive line is now switching. It's sliding over.
Can I get in this question? Can I get in on this one, please? I want to get in this one too. You're athletic too, Holsum one, because you have to be athletic to zone block. You can't be it. So if you have a zone blocking scheme, you better all your offensive linemen better be athletic, because they have to be super athletic in order to zone block because there's too much motion, too much moving.
Exactly. Now, if we're talking big on, is what we refer to it at American Sea High and Hialeah, Florida, Dade County, when I played center. Big on is when, all right now, hey, if I got a one technique to my right, and we run into the left, not zone left. It's 26 lead, not zone left as far as we're all taking a step to the left, and then we're going to push whoever is in front of us. That's what zone would mean, because we're getting to that gap. We're responsible for that gap. We're talking about 26 lead. So that means that the C gap needs to be opened up for our running back to shoot that hole. That's big on blocking, right? Okay. The one technique to my right, if I'm a big on center, that means I'm not even touching that one technique. I'm shooting straight to this middle linebacker, and I'm hitting him in his mouth.
Exactly. Let me ask you something. We had the rough start against LSU. I mean, I'm so happy I'm speaking to you about stuff like this, man. But we had that rough start against LSU, and then we had a couple other games that certain things that looked right on the offensive line. You remember this, man? When it was one of the times they was asking Mark Rick and everybody else, and he said something about they made a statement saying, "Oh yeah, it's just the third or fourth game. Yeah, now we're going to start asking our center to make the adjustments." From what I've been watching football and playing football, the offensive center always made the adjustment when he walks up to the ball. If you see whatever he sees,
he's a quarterback of the offensive line. He's a quarterback of the offensive line.
You guys remember that? It was like the third game. And he was talking. They was like, "Oh, we're going to start making our offensive center make the adjustment." I'm like, "Are we serious right now? Is this?"
Well, what happens is now. See, in my junior year of high school, we had a quarterback by the name of Romy Gonzalez who ended up playing baseball at the University of Miami, who now plays for the Yankees. Double A, I want to say, for the Yankees. My senior year, we had another quarterback, Ed Couch, who played. He plays NAIA football, but he was a spread type mobile quarterback. And so my senior year, my intellect took a whole different level when it came to football, because I realized I'm 5'10", I was 250 at the time. I'm not the strongest in the world, but I'll be damned if somebody gonna outwork me or beat me to where I need to be. And that's what made me a good player. So I realized I had to learn how to read offenses and defenses, and that's what's going to make me become a better player. So I was able to read coverages. I would have to tell our quarterback, because he couldn't do it. All he cared about was getting the ball in his hand and making a play once he did so. So I had to tell him, "Hey, man, if you see one high safety, it's only two coverages somebody could be in. That's cover 3 and cover 0 if you see one high. If you see two high safeties, that's when you start getting into your cover 2s, your cover 3s, your cover 6s, to where it starts to become, they could mix it up with a 2 high safety." He wouldn't even know what I was doing at the line of scrimmage when I pointed at the 2 safety. I had to sit down and explain it to him. So you take somebody like Mark Rick, who's trying to not let his quarterback have to do much. because we had Malik Rozier. And his system didn't allow the players to make audibles on the field. It was, Mark Richt said, we running this play, we going to run it whether it's successful or not. You can't play football like that no more.
You couldn't play. That's what got him ran out of. That's what got him ran out of Georgia. That's what I was explaining to y'all. They got him ran out of Georgia.
He was stubborn, and the man Malik Rozier. After watching the interview he had a couple weeks ago, I really pulled off a bashing this.
Time out.
He didn't even allow the man to play.
Time out though, Holsum. I got a cramp. Did I not warn you? Did I not tell you? Malik, the best thing Malik Rozier did for me in his whole career at University of Miami was do them interviews. Because I told y'all exactly. I told y'all. That's why people say when people say I'm not knowledgeable on football, I'm just this or that. All you gotta do is listen to Malik Rozier interview. And he said everything that I was saying. He said every single thing I've been saying for 3 years came out in that interview. It's like I was in the locker room with him. Because he did exactly, and that's why I say we get these quarterbacks, and we get and the first thing that he did his first year at Miami, the first thing he did was blame the offensive line.
Destroy Brad Kaya.
No, what I'm saying, but blame the offensive line. His first year here, you go from you have a. That's why I say we talking about you go from an offensive line that was built for a spread system.
Yes, sir.
And try to make it and try to make them a power eye or a read option offensive line when they don't have the size for that. They were built for the spread. They were built to be fast. And he blamed the O-line. And I told you guys and I am so glad that I'm so glad that Malik Rozier said what he said, because I get so irritated and so pissed off sometimes when I'm sitting here. And like I say, I know football. I may not know the terminologies. I damn sure don't. I put it away. The Holsum one has forgotten more about football than I know. Just being honest with you. This is why I've been rocking with him since his first 2 videos. And I got his number and let's talk, because I understand what he knows. But hold on for a second. And I understand this is my brother. I'm telling you, I love him like my little brother, blood brother. And he understands so much. And when I have questions, I call him so he can explain certain things to me. And he'll tell you that. So, but when it comes to like X's and O's and understanding football, man, I told you guys what he was doing. I told you he wasn't running more than 4 or 5 plays. I've been saying that for the past 3 years. I remember when I worked with Cane Shades, when I used to work on their station, and I used to tell people used to tell me he's going to open up. This is his first year. I kept hearing it. He's going to open up his playbook after Georgia Tech. Remember, the first game he ran 4 or 5 plays. Second game he ran 4 or 5 plays. Third, and then they said once we play Georgia Tech, he's going to open up his playbook. And it still hadn't gotten open.
that stuff is hair tight. You kidding me? But I didn't really want to go. I didn't want to.
You brought it up. You brought it up.
No, so I definitely did. And I wanted to really point that. I really wanted to make that point, and he was terrible with that. And I'm glad you guys said what you said. I just wanted to make the point, like, what the heck we was doing now, giving the responsibility to the offensive lineman. But a couple other questions, man. And here's the thing. Oh man, these are things that just bothers me. You got guys now who is trying to make all these excuses about what they're not seeing at these little 5-minute texts that they're giving the media and all that. You know what Manny said? And also, I want you to chime in. Manny said, listen, he's going to enjoy these couple of months because it's going to show him who likes football or who loves it.
Absolutely.
Who's saying, okay, I have priorities to go do over here, or I got to go in my playbook and break this down and break that down. Do I love this thing? And I can't wait to see the product. I'm not going to judge him off no spring game or anything. He's building it back up. He wants guys who are going to love this thing and protect what's theirs, protect the home field. There's certain teams that should not come on our field and feel like they could play with us at any time. And that includes Duke. That includes Carolina. That includes Georgia
Who in the chat?
That includes Virginia.
Who in the chat wanted or on the who wanted Manny Diaz as defensive coordinator when he got hired? I can honestly tell you, I smashed that hire. I destroyed it. I called man. I said this bum. I don't want Manny Diaz.
I definitely said I would like to see where this can go, but after watching Zoe's video, it really pushed me back off of him. I can admit that. But after that first couple of games, I knew, hey,
I flipped quick.
Guy right here.
I flipped quick.
Yeah.
I flipped quick. You know why? Because he made me flip. He made me flip because this guy was a genius. And I went from bashing him to not wanting him at all to last year asking to have him as a head coach in waiting.
And
I remember that.
Guys, what happened with him, he's evolved. What it is, he worked in Texas, he worked at Mississippi State, he worked out, and now he's evolved. Louisiana, Texas.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I was 1,000% wrong.
I'm piggybacking on what you're saying. And so the audience and anybody on chat, what he evolved. Here's the thing. What he's doing now is swallowing the meat and spitting the bones out because he has an understanding of what this area. He's picking apart everything. He's jumping on everything. He's on top of everything. He knows we need to put this in place, this in place, this in place, that in place, this in place, that if we're going to even compete. And he's going to take.
But did he evolve or did he always have it in him, but just never was given opportunity?
Yeah, he just
because he's built. He's built. When I say I'm built different, man, he's built different. He's built different. What I mean by that is. What I mean by, I'm gonna let you have it out this. What I mean by built different is you have to be wired a certain way to do certain things. And when you see him on the field, like when you see him out there, you could tell he's just wired a different way. You could just feel the energy. He's just built different. And I don't know, it's hard to explain, but he's just a different guy. And I had to see it.
It's not a resort feeling anymore. It's not a resort feeling anymore.
Go ahead, hold someone. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
My biggest thing is, has anybody ever noticed all that Manny Diaz gave to this program? He was never even given assistant head coach.
No.
I know.
He wasn't.
He was getting passed up.
You know why?
Every year for assistant head coach because Mark Richt knew if he gave that to him, he was going to end up overtaking it one day.
Yep.
And that's crazy because I'm really sitting here thinking about it. We gave it to Coach Kuligowski. I love Coach Kuligowski.
And that's who I wanted as my defensive coordinator. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's who I wanted. That's who I wanted.
You saying you wouldn't mind Kuligowski as D-line and DC, and you wouldn't mind Manny as just LB's coach.
Yep.
But you didn't want him as our DC.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said.
What he did at Texas.
Yep.
You ain't want to bring up Mississippi State because you was like, that's not on the same level of program. We on that level with Texas.
Yep.
And you didn't want what he did getting that big time job again to blow up in his face.
Yep.
Here at the U.
Yep. Exactly what I said. And I was 1,000%.
And that come from the media not really calling.
No, that come from me. That come from me not doing. Ain't got nothing to do with me. That come from me being a dummy and not doing my homework. And I learned my lesson on that one.
Which is fine because let's all be honest. If the roles was reversed, and he came to Miami and did as bad as he did, he was young. He was a 27, 28-year-old DC at Texas.
And that's why I say he evolved. He evolved now. He's got all that pain out, all the success. He know where the failures is at, and he can figure it out now. And now he know all the pieces that he needs to put here because he's at the right spot. You can't be at a better spot than Miami. He know he can get this. You know you can get that.
First off, Manny is Miami. Manny is Miami. Daddy the mayor. Exactly. His daddy was the mayor.
That was perfect. This is perfect.
This is a perfect storm for him. And his act, but we have to look at. But we can sit there and say there's that. You have to look at that man. And when he stood up for those kids, went at Mark Richt and stood up for those kids. That right there, because I love these kids. And when he went at Mark Richt on Canes or ass kiss, when they tried to get him to blame a child, he said, we don't do that on this side of the ball. we coach on this side of the ball.
And he just did it again the other day. He just went out to work again.
I know. This is what I'm telling you. He is I watched him curse Rick out on the sideline. So I mean, bro, this dude, that's what I mean by built different. Everybody don't have the balls to go after their boss man when they know their boss man is wrong. Everybody don't have them balls, man. That's why Thomas Brown was gutless. That's why Ron Duke, all them, bro. That's why all them guys was spot. Anytime Thomas Brown did exactly what Mark Richt told him to do, go after the kids, and he went after the kids, and then Mark Richt threw his ass under the bus and said, "I don't." And it looked stupid. It looked stupid when he did it too.
Yep. I've seen this man bring his lady into the interview, give her a hug in front of everybody while they doing the interview and all that stuff. And I'm looking at him now. And I'm saying, this the same guy. No, this can't be what he's doing. On people with the cancer and all that. I'm like,
and Mark Richt was basically saying the same thing, and he said it. And Mark Richt said, "I don't agree with that." And you basically told the man to do it. But that's when you do. I put a post up on my YouTube, on my Facebook channel the other day. It said had Kevin Hart smirking and said, "Everybody know that person who kissed management ass all the time but never get put on the management team." You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Holsum one.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen. I just gave about 3 or 4 teams that we should not be losing to on our field or any time if their field or not. But one team I got to be very careful with, and the reason why, and we had history with him. I know it's going to be his first year, like it's the first year for our offensive coordinator, but we cannot sleep with Mark Whipple at Pittsburgh.
Okay.
He's the offensive coordinator there. And he knows how to put an offense together. He really do.
All right, we've been on for an hour and a half. We got the table discussion. I got to get out. We got the table discussion. Remember that one. Holsum, when can you come back on and so I can get you and Jamaica King? I enjoyed this conversation because we got to do more stuff like that. All season we got to do more stuff like this. So when is your next day available besides Saturday that you will be in there? Come on and do a
my afternoons, anytime before 5. I know all of y'all work and things of that nature. So during the week, I'm not open after 5 p.m.
What about Sunday?
Go on at 6 and 7.
What about Sunday?
We could do Sunday. We could do a Sunday, sure.
We won't do this Sunday though, because I'll be on the road this Sunday. But we'll do this. You know what? This is gonna be our Sunday brunch. This is gonna be our Sunday brunch show. We're gonna start doing this show on Sundays with the Holsum one, and we're gonna have Jamaica Kane on Sundays around. See, people got a church around 1, so let's say around 3 o'clock, around 3 or 4 o'clock Sunday. Let's make this a segment because I enjoyed it.
Hey, that sounds good to me. That sounds good.
What do you think, Jamaica?
I'm down to have any questions. I love answering questions.
That's cool. We could do it. Now, I would say we'll do it like let's see, 3, 4, 5 weeks straight. I'll do it. Maybe in about a month and a half, I might be coming back from an AAU trip or something like that on a Sunday, so that might be a little different. But no time.
You ain't one of them AAU coaches I was talking about, are you? If you getting that bag, you can slide someone over here to the channel.
I do a little something different than that.
Holsum. I'm just saying, if you getting that bag, Holsum, you know what I'm saying? We could use some funds from that bag. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I'm just saying. I mean,
let's not do that. Hey, I do a little something different, man. You'll see.
Hey, live or not, I need the bag.
Yeah, that shit would be paper bags in the sale. I don't want to know. Hell no. I like my freedom. I don't want nobody. Hey, Holsum, I want nobody visiting me asking me if I want for porridge. My visit.
Oh no, we know them, man. We know the AAU coaches. Some, not all of them, but we know a lot of AAU coaches get. I don't see nothing wrong with them getting paid. What I see is my thing with some of them is the way they try to set themselves up, and I know most of them aren't like that.
I don't coach. So that should tell you I don't coach. Just get that off the air, man. Can't do that on the air.
You don't coach. You're not you're AAU sponsor.
Nah, stop it. So
let me stop messing with you.
I want to throw out that little teaser about the Pittsburgh thing. and that's probably something we could talk about down the road. Little different teasers, man. I appreciate your time. We could always do this because your knowledge is big time, bro. And I give it up. I give it up when it's time to give it up. Joe, you blood raw. You have a certain way how you do your thing, and I know you guys like to talk to this guy too much. But Underwood or whatever his name is, he got Cam.
Cam, my dude.
He got the rip. Yeah, he got the arithmetic. He got the penmanship shit going.
And he have that connection with all the.
Hey, Holsum one. Hey, Holsum one.
Yeah.
I'm getting it ready for you, man. I'm gonna ship it to him so when he see you at the family reunion, he can go ahead and get on one knee.
Holsum one is big time.
That's why I'm getting the ring for you so you can propose to him at the family reunion.
Hey man, I had no idea what he was talking about. Hey, so can you go watch? Go get that Chihuahua, man.
Yeah. Let's let the big dog talking, man.
Go find that. You remember next Friday when my man got the dog. Go find that.
Which one you want? You want the green? You want the green? You want the orange? Or do you want the green with the U in it? Which one you? All of them got the diamonds in them now. All of them got this.
Hey, on that light,
I'm gonna have to go ahead and I'm gonna bring my box back. So you out here playing.
I tell you what, Jamaican game, boy. I tell you, man, Crush Thursday. I'm just saying, I'm wearing all black to the wedding.
I give it up to I see it, man. I call it how I see it, man. And if you know, a lot of jokers out here don't know what they're talking about. And I can't take that with my cane, bro. I cannot take it. I got passion for my cane.
Well, you know what you don't do.
I'm with you, dog, because I hate to get on YouTube and and I'm gonna say it just because somebody white and they get in front of a camera, they get all these subs, they get all these views, and all they do is and this guy would be great, and this package because he's fast.
I want to thank you for calling this guy with the donation. And I'm not insulting anybody. I'm just calling it how it is. I want the blood raw. There's times when Joe give us to us blood raw, whether you like it or not. But you got a certain way how you do your thing. Like I said, I pay attention to the penmanship, man. I'm a bit the little arithmetic he does, and he kind of has to. I need him to give me a little bit of that. And I come to the Holsum one. So, yo, bro,
I don't understand how the Holsum one's not at 5,000, 6,000. I swear to you, it mind boggles me. But you know why I did not have him on last year? Because he was doing too much. So I did not want this year. I know he's gonna be doing a lot, but it's gonna be a segment every week with him over here this year. And
be a lot more open
yeah, so we're gonna get no, that was not a shot at Coop. That was not, because Coop is family. That wasn't a shot at. Actually, it was more of a shot at. Listen to me. Last year we had 4 video makers. It was all about the U83. It was all about the U83. It was Kane Shades. It was me, and it was Coop. The year before last, it was 4. And Wise in them. Okay, yeah. All right. We had. Hold on. Let me finish it. I need to get off for real. We had the year I started making videos. There were 2 video makers at the University of Miami. There was Kane Shades. And there was All About the U83. After Mark Rick got hired, then there became 3. 4 or 5. Now I don't know if Wisdom. I don't think Wisdom was doing it as soon as I started. I'm not 100% sure they were doing it before me, after me. I just don't remember seeing them, so I'm not gonna say that they were not. But Rise and Reed, Kane Swag, those guys are very intelligent. I don't understand why they don't get watched a lot neither. But those guys are very intelligent. But you listen to me. I'm going to do the same thing you did. Listen, man. When you're people of color, it's a lot harder. You have to prove yourself. You have to prove yourself way more. You have to put out way more content, and it's harder for you on this YouTube channel. I'm just being honest with you. It's harder for you. If you look at NFL, and NBA, the black guys are always the co-hosts. Just being honest with you. Just look at it. Just look at it. It's so much. It's just so much harder. It's just so much harder.
Yeah, and we're not
to do it. No, I'm not. No, Coop, my dude. First off, Coop, my dude. Me and Coop helped me set my super chat up. Coop helped me set my helped me set up my Patreon. Coop, my dude. Me and Coop had nobody to believe me. There ain't nobody attacking Coop. But there are 25.
No shade at Coop. No shade at.
There are 25.
Hurricanes time. None of that. None of those guys. No,
there are 25. There are 25 university. There are 25 university Miami Hurricane football video makers now. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it just blew up out of nowhere. It blew up out of nowhere.
When you have all those numbers, it's no way in the world that the quality matches up with the quantity. That's what we're saying.
It's out of nowhere.
Different people out there.
And I don't even edit at all. I'm going to edit because I have no choice. I have to learn how to do it, but I keep it raw with no editing and still get subscribers because people, whether you like me or dislike me, I challenge people to tell me how many times you caught me wrong.
Yeah, let's Holsum one. Your breakdown of like class that's coming in and everything. I saw that when you doing a video. You did it.
He's good, bro.
You just did audio. You did an audio, and I was like, "Come on, man."
His first video, I called him. His first video, I had said, "Call me."
Yo, just stay strong with it, man. Stay strong with it. Ain't nobody kissing up. We talking.
No, being real. His first video, I told him to call me. I said, bro, please give me a call.
I was like, whoa.
Give me a call. His first video. I
was stuck.
I said, call me, bro.
Hey, Zoe, wait till you start doing split screens with him and, keep.
Well, we doing that. We'll do that next video. I'll be set up for next video.
Yeah, you do split screens and they start.
I told people his first video, it's a guy there that I keep saying it, forgot way more about football than I ever know. His first video, I said, bro, oh my goodness gracious. I said, it makes no. The only thing I got on him about, and I still get on him about, I'm glad he finally is he needed a backdrop. I got tired of him. I got tired of him. You know what I'm saying? Looking at him and in the pictures of you know what I'm saying, everything else behind him, but no Miami Hurricane stuff behind him. Besides that, man, listen to me, man. Listen to me. But I say the same thing about you, though. Jamaican, how many times I said you know your shit? I done told you that. You know why we argue? How many times I told you you know your shit? It's shit I would not argue with you about. I'm just being honest with you. It's stuff that I will not argue with you about. Even on Miami Hurricane football, it's stuff because it's certain things that you know more about than I do. And I tell you that. What we argue about, I think we kind of alike. Me and the Holsum one is totally different. Like totally different. Yeah. Like totally different.
Yeah, we don't clash heads because we ain't
so yeah, so it's a little different. Yeah. The Holsum one, but the Holsum one, like when he says something, like your ass say something and be sarcastic with it. The Holsum want to say something and just say it. He'll just say it and you just like, man, even if he was sarcastic with it, you'd be like, man, I can't even say nothing because he just too now. You got that northern in you Jamaican, and I'm northern and Jamaican, and we got that little.
Y'all don't care. Y'all like cutting people up, put them in boxes.
Yeah, it's like
nah. But listen, we passionate, and I just I want somebody that knows what they're talking about, and I don't want to hit the zigzag and the dag. Don't stroke nobody. They don't need to be stroked. We need to tie it in. We need them to be sharp, and we don't need it. Like, it's the stuff that I want to talk about.
I don't want shit scripted, though. I don't want nothing scripted. I swear, this is barbershop talk. I don't want nothing scripted.
Give us a subject.
That's it. Let's get a subject and talk about it because I'm telling you, man. It's going to be real this year, man. I'm serious, man. The Holsum one, and we're going to go from channel to channel. It's not just going to be on this channel. Oh, we're going to do segments on the Holsum one channel. We're going to do them over there. It's not just going to be on this channel.
Hey, so I'm going to say this. We can jump off on this. And also, let's check this out. We're going to jump around and check this out. My opinion. Jamaica Key said it. I think that Cam Harris is going to be the lead back when the season's over. How about that one? Cam Harris.
I 1,000% agree. I 1,000% agree. I'm with you. Lorenzo Lingard ain't gonna have no.
First off, You know why I'm laughing at this right here? You know why I'm laughing at y'all right now? Because I called it last year. Y'all late. I called it last year. I called it last year. Time out. Remember. Time out. Time out. No. I said DJ Dallas. Hold up. I said DJ Dallas was going to. Time out. No, I said DJ Dallas was going to be the best running back. Hold up. I said DJ Dallas was going to be the best running back. Hold up. Time out. Hold up. I said DJ Dallas was the best running back on the team at the time. But when we were talking about Cam Davis versus Lorenzo Lingard, I said Cameron Davis is going to be the best running back out of that class. Period. Act 786. No, but time out. We didn't have time out. But he was a rookie. He was a freshman. Time out. He was a freshman. I said last year that West Ham was going to be the best running back on our team last year. DJ Dallas. I said he was going to be like a Marshall Faulk type back. And he was great until he got fat last year. Because the year before last, remember how great he was? And then last year, all of a sudden, he got fat. Time out. He got fat. But serious, you can go back and watch the footage. I said Cameron Davis is going to be the future back at the University of Miami. I said that. Act 786. I said that. I said that. What I call him? Killer Cam. Thank you. I said that.
I'm not saying Lingard's not going to shine for us. He might be the second best one for us.
No, I just said Killer Cam going to be the future. I said for a fact, Killer Cam is our future back.
I feel bad for Dallas because I think he's going to be out of position again. So I think they're going to ride with him a little because he's a veteran and he did a lot of things to keep the kids together, to bring guys in and rah. He's just not a natural running back.
I said he was going to be like a Marshall Faulk type of back. We didn't have how many backs did we have? How many backs did we have when DJ Dallas came in? We were short at running back.
Right.
We were short at running back.
I give Zoe 1,000% credit because when we brought him in as an athlete and they was talking about putting that boy at receiver, Zoe said, no, I like his running style. I like when I saw him running at quarterback because that's what he played. I like him at running back. And I give Zoe 1,000% credit for that because I didn't even figure that. I was like, oh, okay. And then once I saw the young man out there chucking the ball, he was doing well. Now, the issue I have with DJ Dallas is DJ Dallas can't pass protect with blitzing linebackers.
Yep.
If you look up the film last year,
he can't. You know why last year though? You know why he couldn't do it last year?
Travis Homer is way less than him and was better at passing.
You know why? Because Travis Homer weighed less in the upper body and the lower body. DJ Dallas got pregnant last year. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I'm looking at his stomach like, man, what the hell you been eating? You and Irvin been hanging out together? Y'all been doing? What y'all trying to?
We're gonna sit up here and talk about position battles. We might have to save this for a little while, but I want everybody to pick their starting quarterback now. So
starting quarterback
and say, yeah.
Perry. I picked Perry. Now y'all put in the chat after the chat because actually it's about that time for me to hang up and somebody else calling in.
Let's all hang up on this one.
I gotta do something. I gotta do my prayer.
What we gonna do with our fullback?
We don't have a fullback. We don't have a. He's gonna be a tight end or H back or something like that. He's too short. He
has been incorporating the I formation this week. That's what he spent this week doing because he wants to be able to do all the formations. He does not want to be just one offense. He wants to be known as a multiple offense. He wants to be able to do one guy.
All right, you said one question. Let's go to end it. I gotta go. I gotta go. Let's go to end it. Table it for next Sunday. This was a great show. Table it for next Sunday. I appreciate it. Hey, Holsum, who's still on? All right, next Sunday. I gotta do my prayer. I gotta do my little prayer. It's not a prayer. It's a saying that I got from a youth program in Harlem called Manhattan Valley. So I'm starting incorporating. Hey, I want everybody to try to learn the words to this here too, man. Everybody learn the words. I'm gonna give a matter of fact to the person who can recite these words. They might win something real special. At the end of the year. So serious. All right. So,
All right, guys.
all right, man. Love you
All
too,
right.
boy.
All right.
Love you, bros, man. All right.
All right.
All right. Let me go ahead and end this real quick. Like now, I gotta go. Hey, great show, man. I enjoyed it. It is 6:51, and I gotta go look for a dog, man. Whoa, that was fun. That was fun. That was the most fun I've had in a long time on the show. Like, serious, that was fun. That was fun. All right. Still one for the rest of the week. Rest in peace, Nipsey. Until his funeral. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Nipsey. We love you, my brother. Keep doing the good work. I forgot his brother's name, but you keep doing what you're doing up in Compton, and I'll keep trying to get people on Amazon. And there was some guys on Facebook trying to sell Nipsey Hussle t-shirts, and I put them on blast. They making Nipsey Hussle t-shirts, and I put them on blast. I said, is that money going to South Central Los Angeles? Is that money going to Nipsey Hussle's family? So if that money isn't going to Nipsey Hussle family, then you don't need to be on Facebook selling pictures with his likeness on it, saying Nipsey, rest in peace. Because if that money's not going to South Central Los Angeles and to the foundations that Nipsey Hussle created, then I'm gonna put you on blast. You can see me how you want to see me. I don't care. Because that money should not go to you. Matter of fact, YouTube stripped when I played Nipsey and I told y'all they were gonna strip my money, they stripped every royalty from that video is stripped, and I don't care. And I'm hoping YouTube send it to Nipsey Hussle. That's what I'm hoping they do. All right. Now, more than ever, all the family must stay together. Every brother and sister everywhere must feel the time that's in the air. Common blood flows through common veins, through common eyes. All see the same. Now, more than ever, all the family must stay together. Represent this you. See the new University of Miami glasses that I got in, man. Like my glasses. You know what I'm saying? Like my shades. Rock my shades. Hurricane Zoe. The prettiest of the blacks. Of the dark chocolates. Hey, man. We out.